Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, hey, hey. Can y'all hear me? Hey, JL. Hey, Sting. Haven't called July. And I'm glad to be here today. I'm glad to see ya. Hey, Sting. Hey. Hey, Black Women, my congratulations, boo. Um, I came to tell y'all, chat with y'all about the little Wright story and his ex-wife Sherra Wright. So that's what my story is today. My case, guess I should say. I don't know if you guys remember this story back in 2010 when Sherra had her husband unalived, and he was a former NBA player. They found his body um, in the Memphis, Tennessee river. I guess it was like 9 days after. And Billy Ray Turner was convicted along with her. Hey, Lakeisha, how you doing, boo? So they gave her. She took a plea deal for 30 years. Um, and she was coming up on a parole hearing. She only did 5. So I wanted to know, do you guys agree with her coming up on a parole hearing so early when she haven't even did 5 years? Hello, beautiful. And chat, hey. So yeah, she came up on a parole hearing after taking 30 years. She only did, I think, less than 5. But Billy Ray Turner, he got life in prison. So I wanted to kind of scheme and go through the recording of her at her parole hearing. So I probably won't be able to see the chat for a minute. Let me see. This is Billy Ray Turner. He played a role in her husband's death. This is Sherra right now in prison. This is her again. This is her before she committed the murder with Billy. Hey, everybody coming in, please hit the like button. Thank you. This is Sherra at our court hearing. This is Sherra and Lorenza Wright. This was before all this happened. So they were in the public eye. They were so happy. It was a time. 5 years is definitely too soon for a possible parole, in my opinion. And I totally agree. I agree. This was him back in before 2010, because he died and they unalived him. This was Sherra at his funeral. This is her again. I'm just giving y'all an insight of everything before we jump into everything. This is him here, like he was just so happy. I don't think nobody have a right to take your life. That's my opinion. Yes, I remember. Jacqueline, you remember? Okay. This is Lorenza's mother. I have so much respect for this lady after hearing what she said at her parole hearing. Nothing but respect. A few more pictures and then we'll jump into her parole hearing. This was them, so young, so innocent. Like, if you saw them at this picture, you wouldn't even imagine, you know, going through everything of what she say, you know, he did to her. This was them. And as I look at this picture, it looked like nobody's happy. Like, we just here. You know, and looking at this picture, they were so young, so innocent, like they was going to a like a prom or something, a homecoming or something. This is her again. So I'm gonna share my thing. So this is Sherra. She's at her parole hearing. Oh, I guess I gotta click. Wait a minute.
Good morning, everyone that's joining us from the prison. We'll be with you all in just a moment. We're preparing some recording devices, and we'll be ready to go in just a minute.
So Sherra is at her parole hearing. She took 30 years. Haven't did.
We've had two people here who were called, so could we have a couple minutes to rearrange our room?
Sure, absolutely.
Right, thank you.
We just need an opposition sign-in sheet for those that are there in person to oppose.
Okay. We're gonna need two people and support.
Just rearranging the room. See if I can kind of skip over.
So how did you meet your size? Was it from my channel?
Wait a minute.
So how did you meet your size? Was it from?
It just clicked out of the whole thing. Let me see.
My channel?
What did it do? I don't want to click out. Let me go back. Hey, everybody, come in. Hey, Brittany. I done clicked out of the thing.
Just to rearrange our room.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
We just need an opposition sign-in sheet. All right, thank you.
Okay, so in the video, you'll see it's coming up. Okay, so in the video, you'll see
the only thing we're working on
Sherra's
right now is a sign-in sheet on the opposition.
This is Sherra's family, all in the back here. Her kids.
Okay, thank
This
you.
is Sherra's aunt. Or not Sherra, Lorenzo's aunt. Pay attention to her face expression and stuff. So again, for everybody that's coming in, this is Sherra Wright. She murdered her husband, ex-husband, Lorenzo Wright. He was an NBA player. He took 30 years. He ain't did the whole 5, but she's at a parole hearing. So even everybody's trying to figure out how you up for a parole hearing? You ain't even did nothing, you know. And in my opinion, I just feel like she haven't learned her lesson. It's just, I mean, I put myself in this situation on the other side of the family. Like, what have you learned from this? Hi, Geraldine. Thank you for joining us. So They're doing like a Zoom online.
Okay, the sheet, the sign sheet just came through. We're printing now.
They also say Sherra came out with a book. The book was called Mr. Tell Me Anything. They said she described everything she did to him and what they went through in this book. So she actually was interviewed by so many people because she moved out, I think they said, to California. I mean, she ran through all. Hi, Luana. Thank you for joining. She ran through all his money. I mean, it was like 5 point something million dollars, but she was looking at $1 million to get, you know. They say she moved across, to California because this happened in Atlanta. She had people like run him down, like totally run him down in Atlanta. Like he dodged so many bullets of being unalive or her trying to kill him until it happened one day. She ran through all his money. They had 2 homes that was in foreclosure. Like she ran through all his money.
All right. I believe we're ready to get started now.
She had to do this in order to get more money. That's what they're saying.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you, Ms. Cato.
Okay, Ms. Wright has asked if some information can be sent to you.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
And so she must have wrote him something, the judge something. So he's gonna probably scan it over or email it over, whatever. Thank y'all for coming in and joining me. I actually was going to do a recording, but I think this one needed a live.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to get started right now. So everyone, welcome to the parole hearing for Sherra Wright. Today's date is May the 11th, 2022, and this is the initial, meaning first, parole hearing for Sherra Wright. Ms. Wright, can you give me your inmate identification number, please?
610305.
And your date of birth?
2/1 of 1971.
Okay, that makes you 51 years of age.
Hey,
Is that
everybody
correct?
coming in. Hey,
Yes,
Andrea.
Okay, I am parole board member Barrett Rich,
Thank
and I'm
you,
hearing your case
Simple.
today from the Deborah Johnson Rehabilitation Center via video conference from officer in the state. Has your IPO met with you to explain to you your rights in the parole hearing process that will occur today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you understand that if you get a declination of parole, you have a limited right to appeal that?
Yes, sir.
Those rights are limited indeed, and they are set forth in Tennessee Code 40-28-105. The rights, the only way you can appeal that is if there is significant new evidence or information that
I
was not
remember this.
available at the time of the hearing.
Yeah, for parole.
If there are any allegations of
Denied.
misconduct by the hearing official that are substantiated by the record. I believe with
Yeah.
all the media outlets here today and on top of our recordings, we're gonna have plenty of record of this hearing. And third, if there were any significant procedural errors by the hearing official that is substantiated by the record. Of course, we're going, everything we're doing here today is on the record, will be recorded. The purpose of this hearing today is to gather information from you, your records, and your guests that are here, and make a decision on whether to grant or deny your parole. Your case requires 3 votes to parole or not parole you. At the end of this hearing today, you will know my vote. After I vote, the other board members will review your case and whether the required number of votes are reached. Once the required number of votes are reached, you'll be notified if you've been granted or denied parole. Again, if you've been denied parole, there are there is a appeal process. However, it is limited, as I just stated
And I
before.
never knew a parole. I never knew they would let you go
Everyone
on
is welcome
parole.
to this
Just
hearing.
you ain't serve a 5
At an
years.
appropriate point
I
during the
don't-
hearing, I will hear from 4 members of Ms. Wright's support, and I will hear from 4 in opposition of Ms. Wright's parole. Generally leaving the last say to the state of Tennessee. All right, Ms. Wright, I have reviewed your file. I'm going to go over a few things for the record here today. You're being seen today on the conviction of facilitation of first-degree murder and attempted facilitation of attempted first-degree murder out of Shelby County that occurred in July and April of 2010. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your sentence effective date is January the 20th of 2018. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
She
But I
was
actually was
someone with a little
extradited from
power.
California on
Mm,
December the 15th,
probably so, Steve.
2017.
Okay.
And none of my
Hey,
records show
beautiful
that, or
diva.
that
How you
time hasn't
doing?
been calculated in, and I'm not understanding why, but
Okay. All right, and you received a 30-year sentence. Your release eligibility date is not until June of 2025. Is that right?
yes, sir.
Okay. And you expire your sentence on June 30th, 2046, currently.
2046.
That sounds correct.
Okay. And of course, with
2046. Oh Lord, I don't know where I'll be at. 2046. How you up for parole? You right. You might be on to something. Hey, in the safe zone, how you doing, boo? Let's continue.
good time, that does change, and the records do change on the exact release dates. So you have served approximately just over 4.25 years
Oh,
in prison. I show your custody level to be minimum restricted. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I do show your strong R to be as of low risk. Your co-defendant in this case is Billy Turner. Is that correct?
Well, he was. I thought I was separated from him at the point where I took my plea.
Okay. Well, yes. Even though you're separated, he committed this crime with you, and that's in large part of the greater conspiracy. Billy Turner was also convicted as a result of this set of facts, circumstances, or events. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
so
Okay.
Billy
I
Turner,
believe he just received a life
Billy
sentence.
Ray Turner, he got life.
Show you to have a 12th grade education from Westwood High School, and you are a cleaner in the free world. Your prior adult criminal
Hey,
record shows
Nicole.
you have driving with license suspended, revoked, canceled 2 times, reckless driving, and minimum speed regulations. Definitely some traffic charges other than the more serious driving on suspended, revoked, canceled. Your felonies include conspiracy to commit felony foreign person.
It ain't
along
looking
with
too
these
good in the
other
safe
2 charges.
zone.
Is that right?
I'm trying to put
Yes, sir.
this happened in Memphis.
Okay.
In the safe zone. Do you
I show
remember
you've
this?
been a call center representative as your institutional job. Is that right?
Yes, sir. My previous job.
Okay. Do you work while you're in your incarceration? Do you work at the prison?
Oh, well, now
You
I'm not
do?
able to because I attend 2 colleges at the same time. I attend TCAT, which is Computer Information Technology. I graduate in 2 weeks from there,
Okay.
and I attend Nashville State in the evenings. And
Okay.
I'm close to receiving my associate's degree in business administration, so I'm not working.
Okay. Very good. Very good. I think that is an excellent program that National State offers. Have shown you to completed grief management, CDIP, a journey to emotional freedom, freedom from trauma's imprint, certified.
She got a lot under her belt.
IT
Hi,
fundamental
Dorothy.
pros, boundaries,
Thank
domestic
you for
violence,
joining.
impact, anger management, TriCore, life skills, adult basic education, and whole child initiative. Is that right?
No,
And I've
no.
also completed parenting.
I
in the
want
last
y'all to
week or so.
hear. Let me
Okay.
pause it for
Thank
one.
you. I think that may be.
I want y'all to hear how the family talk, how the kids, how one person can manipulate their children, their family, and how the other family looking at her like, even the mother. Hi, Royalty Queen. Didn't parole her. No, they didn't parole her. And you got to see everything. Hey, Real Spill, you got to see everything and how it played out. And I have nothing but respect for, Lorenzo's mother. Like, she was, she came in like, yeah, I'm doing life, but you can't do 30. You can do 30 years because I'm doing life. I'm doing life without my son. You need to sit and think about, I don't care how much, what you got up under your belt as a career, what you learned in there. Look what you still doing to these children. All her children, besides the two twins, spoke. I just want to let y'all see how she just still manipulating the system. Even just doing 4 years, that's nothing.
Full child initiative to parenting, that's what it shows. Okay. What is your marital status?
I'm married.
You're married currently, okay?
Yes, sir.
And tell me about your children.
I have 6 children. 2 of them are actually somewhere in Tennessee. Roma found lost. They were supposed to be at the parole here, and they drove from Illinois. And they're identical twins. They will graduate from college next year and go on to play professional ball.
That's sad.
They have some overseas looks right now, but they're trying to go to the NBA. So those 2 are actually lost. They should be here. I think they wrote letters on my behalf, but they weren't able to be here yet because they're lost.
And I have read letters.
They say she was very uppity. All about money.
Sherra, right.
Yeah.
And they're 22.
Long as
And
it
then
do
my
not.
oldest is 27. He's
Right.
He's Lorenzo Wright Jr. And he had just had an over the phone interview with college this morning for a coaching position, and he's working on. He's about 1 semester from his master's degree in organizational
Everything
leadership.
with her is
I
about
have Lauren Wright,
money.
She's 25, and she is 5 months away from being a registered nurse. I put her through nursing school. And then
How you
we
pull
have
out the nursing school?
Lawson, who is soon to be a high school graduate. And so he couldn't make it because they're doing graduation exercises right now, and he has to finish up on his finals. He'll be going on to information technology. He wanted to follow in my footsteps in that and his uncle's footsteps. So he's been accepted, and he'll be starting college in about, in August when college starts. And then the baby is Sophia, and she's 15. She's present today, and she is doing well in.
Thank you, Real Spill.
She's going on to high school. She'll be a freshman next year, and she's a really good athletic person. She plays volleyball and basketball.
Okay. All right. Well, so should you be released from prison, where would you go? What would you do? What is your release plan?
I decided to first go to transitional housing here in the Nashville area, because there were some really good counseling programs for people that experience domestic violence, things like that, trauma. And that representative, she's here today. I was accepted into her housing program, and she's here today. She would like to speak on my behalf if that's possible. And she has an 8-month program, and I think that would really
they had all that money,
get acclimated back into society.
His career,
and there's some really good job
just
programs that she has to get us back, on our feet and get us started. And I'm really excited about that if given the opportunity.
Okay. All right. Well, so you will get 4 people who will speak. Whomever you wish to speak on your behalf will certainly be one of the 4 be allowed. Okay. And by the way,
I have to look in the safe zone.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We've also checked your certification, your records, and just reviewed everything. All right. At this point in the hearing, I want to know what happened. If I can use a reference that you hear in many sporting events, the play-by-play, I need to hear what exactly happened that led to your incarceration, to you being here in front of me, committing these horrendous crimes and being here.
No, Real Spill, she has not been released. This was actually last year.
Started the crimes actually started before the crimes
This was
actually started
last
in
year
my
at her
mind, because there
parole
was a lot going
hearing.
on in our family, in our life, together, which actually eventually led to a divorce. There was a lot of financial distress. Mr. Wright, my ex-husband Lorenzen, he got involved in the drug ring,
Right.
and there were some people that we owed money to, great amounts.
Yep, they denied it last year.
Great amounts of money.
But in the safe
And
zone,
during that
she pleaded for
process,
30 years, so she haven't even
I
did
decided that I
5.
couldn't handle that,
So
because it
everybody,
actually
even
led to
him,
a lot
the
of
judge, like,
pressure
how are
and
you up for
a lot of
parole?
beatings and a lot of things. I mean, there was
Right, it was
suicide
denied.
attempts on his end, and it was just too much. And I was trying to get the kids away from that
But
type
just
of
watch how she
environment,
still
because
manipulate the
that's something
system.
that they weren't used to.
She has
I
to wait to
filed
get
for a
before-
divorce. I moved away
Yep.
from Lorenzen at that time, but he needed my help. So he reached out to me, and he was like, after one of the guys that was driving for him to go pick up his dope, they ended up coming into like an opposition with one another, and he became
So
an enemy
she
of
says,
ours. And that
oh,
money needed to be paid back to the people that they
she
were working for.
says, oh, Lorenzo was selling dope. He owed these dope dealers. And so everybody like, what? You making this up? Where did this come from? This wasn't even thought about even back in 2010 when you talked to the detectives. You just made this up sitting in the cell, huh? So yeah.
Because they were arrested, and
Right.
the guy's family needed his money. And so at that point, we owed, when the money was owed, it was owed by the two of them. The young person that what you've read, and it was owed by the two of them. And so he couldn't handle the pressure, so he went ahead and paid the part for my ex-husband. And when that made us owe him. And so he put pressure for us to get the money to him, and my cousin, Jimmy, and Billy, they both were working. Jimmy would go to Florida and pick up the dope, and Billy was doing the more local transactions. He wasn't doing the Florida runs. There was a lot of animosity between both of them. It was power plays between Jimmy and Billy, because one of them wanted to be the man and one of them wanted to make the most money, and it was a lot of chaos.
So let's not forget Billy Ray Turner.
Mr.
We're talking about
Between Billy and Jimmy?
Yes, it was. It was like power plays competition, like who's gonna be the closest to Lorenzen, who's gonna get the best jobs, who's gonna get the most
happened
money,
in Memphis.
that type of thing. And Jimmy wasn't making a lot of money because he owed us for attorney fees that we had paid for him, and also Lorenzen bailed him out of jail on his murder charge. Leading up to the murder, we got my son was approached at his school, and he was threatened. Lorenzen Jr. was approached at his school, and his life was threatened. And they wanted his dad's whereabouts because Lorenzen went into hiding. While all this was going on, it was a target placed on me and my kids' heads, and people were knocking on our doors looking for him. And at that point in time, Lorenzen began hiding out, so I didn't even know where he lived. But with the two of them being able to work for him, they knew where his address was. So when the knock came at the door, I called everybody in. I was like, look, he wants his money. How much money do you guys have?
Where was he living at this time?
He was in Atlanta. Lorenzen was located in Atlanta at that time.
Okay, that's what I was making sure of.
Like she say, Lorenzo was living in Atlanta at that time. So looking back over the case, they say she hunted that man down. Her and a bunch of other people hunted that man down in Atlanta. Mind you, she was living, I think they say, in California. She hunted him down because she had ran through all her money that she had. She ran through so much money. The article actually says she ran through a lot of money. So she was broke. She needed more money. So that's what she did.
Now, did you visit?
Excuse me?
And you visited him in Atlanta after you were divorced, right?
Only once. Yeah. Now I picked up the kids from Atlanta once I was divorced from him.
Hey, Gwen.
They went to his house, and that day we'll get to that, but on that particular but yes, I visited once in Atlanta.
Okay.
Not really visited.
that when you left the window open?
No, sir, that never happened.
That never happened.
That
Hmm.
never happened.
So the state's not accurate in that,
Every house that Lorenzen lived in or whatever, once I went to Atlanta, I was given the keys to their home just in case anything happened. All of my stuff was still in his garage. I had, he had all his stuff in his garage. He was hiding out. He was like, anything happens, you need the keys to that.
Do that sound like somebody who really wanted to be back with her? If he's way cross, he didn't want to be with her. She did this out of just being evil. You could just tell she did this by being evil. That's why the judge calling her out on everything.
That place. And he gave it to one of the children to give to me. So that never happened, unlocking his windows. As a matter of fact, the day that we went to the Atlanta to his home, he met me at the gas station because I didn't know how to get there. And when I followed him to the house, he was like, the kids are in the pool. I didn't want to take them out. So meet me at the gas station and then I'm going to bring you into and if you looked at his townhouse complex, it was a whole lot of townhouses. And the entrances to the doors were from the back of the townhouses and not necessarily from the front. And I never even went inside of his house. So it was no way to unlock the windows. I picked the kids up from poolside.
okay.
I never
All right.
even went inside his home.
Look at the
Okay, well,
auntie.
no,
Look
you
at
may
the auntie in
continue
the
with
corner.
what
She
you
like,
want to
child.
say.
Okay, yes, sir. In the process of them working for him, there was, and when they came to my son's school to threaten him that particular day, I called everybody into the house and I said, what kind of money do you have on you right now? What do you have? What have you made? What do you have right now? And because this guy wanted his money and he said he was going to kill my kids. So at that point in time, everybody started
Roll
drawing
him to
weapons, and
17
he's
years.
at the
Right,
mission too.
King.
And
I
so
know. I
and I
know.
understand why
So
nobody's
only
talking about
4
that, but
years.
it needs to be
I
talked
don't
about.
know what's going on
Everybody
with
was
that.
drawing their weapons. I was like, ho, ho, ho. And I made everybody lay their guns down on the
Hey,
table
Sharon Leatherwood,
at
how you
that
doing,
time.
boo?
And I said,
She
what
hears
are we going to do? My cousin was
she
throwing
only
out
get 4.
I took my diamond earrings out of my ears. I said, take these earrings. I have a divorce money that's
Now,
coming.
mind
It'll be
you,
here in just a
when
couple
they
of weeks,
shot
or
him
maybe
down, they
no
got a
later than a month.
recording.
Can you wait for a month? He was
They
like, no,
shot
I
him
can't wait. I
down.
got my own stuff going on.
They didn't find his body till after
And
9
at that
days.
point in time, Claudia, my
They
cousin
didn't find the
that was at the
weapon.
house, she
They didn't
started
find the
throwing
weapon
out
until
things
November
like,
9th,
well, we can just
2017. Now,
send him
this
to
happened in
Atlanta and he can
2010.
talk.
After they
Lorenzo's not
found
here,
it, they
you need to
found the
talk to
gun
him.
in a
And my cousin was
pond,
like, nah.
at the bottom of a pond.
I ended up saying at that time, Jimmy got mad at me because at that time I was like, nah, you take this away from my porch and put it on their porches because I don't have anything to do with this. I don't have anything to do with his money missing. I don't have anything to do with drugs. I don't have anything to do with it. So I hauled out and I threw out Jimmy's mama's address. I said, you can take this to 205 Draper Street. Or either that, or what you can do is, and he was like, nah, what you need to take it into is that insurance policy that you got on him, because you can pay him.
Another thing, the judge asked her what happened. She talking about all this other stuff. That's not, she's still, if you at a parole hearing, you gonna announce, I did it. I'm sorry. I learned my lesson. I'm so grateful to probably even be here to have probably saved my life. Out of all these people that she say hunted her husband down, why they ain't do nothing to her? Why they ain't do nothing to the kids? Like, yeah, something is wrong. 4 years and you still ain't learned. Yeah.
That way, because I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna be caught up in this. And I was like, well, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. Everybody's gonna get out away from my kids and off my porch, and he's gonna handle his own business and his own debt. And then I start hauling off and saying things like, yeah, so if you think it's gonna be me and my kids, no, it's gonna be him. Take him
Exactly.
to them. I told them to take
She's going
him
all the way around
to
everything.
And so
what
how
happened
I
that night?
sent them.
What
I sent them to Atlanta, and he was like, I can't go right now, blah blah blah. And so what I wanted to do was, I had 5 of the kids. Only one kid was at home at that time, Lorenzen Jr., and the other kids were with their dad. And so that's why I ended up at the pool picking them up first. I never warned Lorenzen, and I should have done that, but I did not warn him when I got there because I was angry with him. And I shouldn't have been angry. I should have compromised. I should have tried to tell him.
But see, instead of saying I did it, they got the evidence. They got. I mean, even Billy Ray Turner, he got a recording of him. He reached out to the news people. He said, I want to talk. He said, because, and I don't blame him. Y'all gave her 30 years of me life. He planned this. It's all her.
I didn't want to do that.
So he talked to.
That's how the first part of the crime happened.
Okay.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on
Moving into the second part of the crime, I began to once they went to the house to find him, he wasn't there. And he came back to my house and he was like, so now you playing games with me. And in a way that was true, because when they went to Atlanta, I knew that my son had a basketball game in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I figured, well, at least that'll buy us a little bit more time, maybe, you know. And he said that I was playing games with him. And then he said, well, he was going to take my baby Sophia for a ride if I didn't show him proof that I was trying to cooperate because he didn't believe anything that I was saying. So that's when I texted Lorenzen and I tried to get some dates from him on as to when he was coming home. So that he can, handle his business. And
so then I asked you, even after doing 4 years, if the judge gave her 5, I still don't think she's capable of coming out of there. Like, you still manipulating everybody, even your own kids.
We need to have this money here by the 18th. I think all of that was captured in text messages.
I don't know about nobody else, but 5 years is a long time to me. Regardless, I'm gonna break it down and say I'm sorry.
He had just picked up some dope and he was headed back, and we were trying to figure out how much. He said he was going to get rid of the big part of it, and then he just had one more part of it to get rid of. So he talked about a big keyboard and a little keyboard, and then we talked about the 18th.
Hey, Tio.
It was too late to turn back. I needed the money, and I was just trying to put pressure on him because he was the one that was making the majority of the transactions.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Lorenzen made it home on the 18th as
scheduled,
but I kind of got zeroed out of the plan.
Oh,
because when he got home, I was supposed to pick him up.
Yeah, and I mean,
and I think that
it was found. This crime happened.
I was supposed to pick him up from the airport. And
this crime happened July 19, 22.
Was Jimmy never brought me the money.
They found his body July 28,
they kind of put
2010.
in a bad position. And
they didn't find the gun until November 9th, 2017.
And that day, he didn't even want to talk to me. He says, I got another ride from the airport.
So even after being locked up, you knew where the gun was. You knew. You just,
y'all gonna get me killed out here, that type of thing. So that was the whole situation on that morning. I didn't hear from Lorenzen again, even though that transaction was supposed to go down that morning. I never heard from Lorenzen until about 4 or 5.
Tia, she was up for parole last year. She didn't have a serve 4 years.
Maybe he did
30.
Run into my cousin or whatever. I thought that he was gonna pull up on him and go get his own money, and we had an argument about that earlier that day.
Her son here, he gonna. This is their oldest son. He gonna talk on behalf of his mom.
That was planned for the exchange to pay the money off. It never even happened, and because at 9 o'clock when he gets to the house,
and Lorenzo's auntie, this is his son. He's so mad.
Tells me
she's mad
that he wanted to discuss some good news with me, and I thought the good news was going to be that everything was handled. But the good news was
it don't have nothing to do.
He had tried out with them, and he said
he better cut her off. The judge like, I'm tired of hearing that. I ain't giving you nothing anyway. 4 minutes to talk.
And then when I tried to bring up Jimmy's name or what happened earlier, he pushed me in my face.
Yeah, she didn't even answer
And
nothing
when
the
he
judge
did that,
told
that
her
means
what
that
happened that
don't
night.
say
Like,
anything
this is
else
all
before
on
I
your
ask
mind
him
to
any
talk
more questions.
about.
Because if I did that,
No,
then
this was
you know,
the
that
parole.
led to beatings
Yeah,
when I
the
opposed
parole was
anything
denied.
that he said to me.
Look at the crime.
So I went on and went to bed, and he woke me up, and he said, listen, he said, I'm sorry about putting my hands on you. He's like, but I'm getting ready to go. He said, I'm gonna grab this $110,000. He was like, your cousin got me effed up. He said, I'm gonna tell you that right now. And if this don't go the way that it's supposed to go, he said, I'm gonna F you up when I get back. He was
Look at
like,
the
but I'm
auntie.
gonna tell you right now. He said, matter of fact, you gonna go with me. So he told me to call the babysitter, Teresa Walker, and that should be in my phone records. I called Teresa Walker. She didn't answer the phone. I said, well, I can't go because I'm not gonna leave the kids because these people, were in and out from our home. And I was like, I'm not gonna leave the kids, so I can't go. So he asked me then, he was like, well, text Billy, tell him to meet me there. And that's what I did. And I never saw him again after
Exactly,
that.
because all she
And then what?
is rambling. Yeah, she just rambling. He finna stop her.
After that, I mean,
I don't even
he
think she shed one tear. Not
and
one.
I'm scrambling. I'm asking questions. I'm pulling up on my cousin and asking him questions, and I could tell that he was hiding something from me. I'm asking Billy questions, and I could tell he was hiding
Yep.
something from me. And I was like, well, we could just go to the police and tell them. And both of them, they kept saying, no,
Let me
because
see if I can fast forward to when the baby boy
drugs,
sat
and
down.
that's gonna get us a drug. I did bring. I earlier. I understand what you.
Again, we're gonna allow 4 to speak, and whoever you'd like to speak to, come up, state your name, your relationship to the inmate. Take about 5 minutes and say whatever you'd like to say. Ms. Wright, whomever you'd like to speak. You get,
Oh,
you
I
get
have
4.
to tell you to come. Well,
Yeah,
right here.
well, there's more than 4 there, so I want you to tell me who you want to come up, and it's up to you.
It's almost like the judge know, like, no.
This is Lorenzen Jr.
Hey, Mr. Wright,
This
just,
is her
if you just
son.
state your name for the record, and I'm looking down because you're a little taller than the camera here. We won't be so foremost to have you stand up. You can pull that chair up if you'd like. That see you when you're talking.
Okay, thank you. So I just begin any way I want to?
Yes, sir, just state your name and say whatever you'd like to say. If you read something, we do ask that you give that to our parole officer there. What he'll do is just copy it, scan it to us.
Thanks everybody for coming in. Please hit the like button. I really, really appreciate you guys rocking with me.
That way we'll have the official record of it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay?
I'm reading, my little brothers were supposed to be here. They ended up going to Memphis ended up going to the women's prison in Memphis instead of here on accident this morning. 2 brains, 1 head. My family. I'm kind of read from what he wrote. Just want you to kind of read out his letter.
Never give up.
I have read that as well.
I do. I said it probably 3 or 4 times at the beginning of this live. I got a lot of respect for his mama because,
Starting, my name is Lamar Wright. Speaking for my brother, throughout the history of this case and my mom's conviction for us, let me try to read this the best way because I kind of have bad handwriting too as well. Let's see what we're going.
and he told the judge that he just wrote all of this. He told him he just wrote all of this on the way to the hearing.
Okay. Throughout this case and my mom's conviction, it's been very hard for me and my family. No matter where we go, me and my family have to deal with the history of pretty much what's been going on with my father's death and pretty much trying to navigate our relationship with our mother around other people. I would be lying to say that I didn't mourn my father's death. Saying I haven't come to terms with my father's death would be a lie, though, as well. The older I become, the more I understand about my parents and their trials, just becoming and maturing. My father was a great man who took the burden of taking pretty much his entire family, not just us, his kids, but his mother, his sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews. The list continues, even people who aren't part of our family. Mentally, I know that was draining for someone like him, you know, just coming from nothing and getting to the point of success where you're in the NBA, and now you got all these people who depend on you. And like you said, you just actually getting a taste of that money and getting a taste of that life. Even when I knew he was overwhelmed, my dad was my role model. Even when I knew stuff was to get to him, I know he was frustrated. Even when he had his problems, even when he had his outbursts, his certain rages and things like that. I knew he had a lot of love now. Even with my mom playing a role in my father's death, I still had to understand who she is in my life. She is a victim of domestic violence, abuse, whether it is mental, physical, or emotional. It does not excuse her from the decisions that she's made, and it doesn't take back the time that we've lost with my father. But I do understand as I become older how much mental trauma, physical abuse, and emotional abuse can do to a person.
But do it make it okay?
Years following my father's
Mhm.
death, you can tell my mom's decisions made her make different changes in her life. Sorry, my handwriting still a little bad. I kind of tried to write this in the car on the way here.
Well, I think bad handwriting just is a sign of genius. So it's not good to my writing either.
Okay, so when we had no other way or form rather than to point us to God. I feel like when it came down to it, my mom knew she made a lot of mistakes and she didn't really know where to take us and where to go. So she decided to put us in the church, pretty much drown us there. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, Bible studies,
And the auntie
church night, praying before we eat. My mom was also at a point to where I knew that her guilt was getting to her. You could tell that she was contemplating suicide and actually hurting herself as well. But there's one word I can't say about my mom, and it took me a while last night. I think I've written like 7 letters now, but the word for me that I did find that I want to describe her with was perseverance. It's her just being persistent and still going, no matter how hard the situation, no matter
Even after all
how
that,
wrong things
still
are going.
uplift with his
All my
mama.
siblings,
You know, it's
could tell that my mom was going a lot. Like all my siblings could tell that she had so much on her mind. But one thing about her is, she's a fighter. She wants to protect us. She wants to make sure everyone's okay. That's been her number one job, is trying to make sure that her kids are okay and make sure I'm okay. If you want to say one of my most PTSD moments of my life will probably be the day that God did come to my school and ask me about my father. I was in summer school. I had messed up that year. It was one of my first years actually having to go to summer school, having to get up at 6 a.m. to go to summer school classes at 7 a.m. She usually had a friend to come get me, and they used to take me to summer school classes, and I usually have to wait after school. I usually wait in the gym or I wait outside in the front. It was a random day at school. It was a car came to school, big black truck. It was two black guys. I couldn't, if I seen their faces, I probably could recognize them, but I don't know their names. One guy holding a gun out the window and the other one pretty much asking me, "Hey boy, where your daddy at?" And honestly, I couldn't speak for the first 20 to 30 seconds. I didn't say anything. I just said I didn't know. And they pulled off. first thing I did was, as soon as my mom came and get me, that's the first thing I told her when I got home. The look in her eyes, I could see she was frightened, but you could tell that she was already proactive in mode. She was making phone calls, acting frantic. She didn't really explain to me what was going on. She just told me it was nothing for me to worry about. Now looking back on it, I wish I could have known more. I know as a kid, it's probably nothing I could do, you know, but
That's sad.
So I kind of just getting a little lost. I'm really gonna put the papers up. We're just gonna talk, just me. There's a lot of things you can say about my mom and my father. They were both together, going through a lot. My mother dealing with losing both her parents from cancer, having to lose her daughter from SIDS. Like I said, my father's career going up and down.
Hi, Linda Bass.
His living situation when he was a kid, he used to tell me all the time how he bounced around when he was a kid. He lived with my grandma, I guess, for a little bit, but then he ended up, I guess, getting taken in by his grandma. He lived with her for a while, if I'm not mistaken. He lived with her. I don't know what the reasons were, but I know he may have dealt with abuse as well when he was a child, just from the way he talked and the way he acted when he used to tell the stories. He eventually ended up moving in with my mom when he was moving to Memphis. He moved in with my granddad, my mom's father. I guess that was
So
just
he's
for the
kind
residents.
of giving a
Coming in
background
to play high
of
school
his
basketball.
dad's,
He ended up eventually
how he was raised, came
transferring
up
and
and
moving in
brought
with my
him up.
granddad, his father, who came into his life a little later on once his life really started to get to rolling and everything started to happen. I just know my dad and my mom dealt with so much growing up and dealt with so much mentally. And I just know mental health is just so important. I know people don't talk about mental health a lot and people don't care about it, and they may overlook it. But when me growing up from being a 15-year-old kid, seeing my parents, seeing my mom, to me seeing her now at 27, just her going to these classes inside of jail and her learning different things that she's dealt with. She'll call me and be like, oh, like I didn't even realize that I was dealing with this, like, and this is what I was dealing with, but now I'm in this class. Like, it's helped me come to a realization that, come to terms with a lot of things. Like, if you want me to sit here and say, like, oh, I believe 100%, like my mom, like, killed my father, like, I watched the court hearing and they say she's the one who pulled the trigger, but I'm the one who let my dad outside the door when he had the box of money in his hand. And the reason why I say I know he had a box of money in his hand is because he used to leave the box in the attic all the time. The attic was by my room upstairs. It was somewhere where I used to play a lot all the time. I used to go upstairs, go through his things all the time. I used to go there, play around with his money. Take pictures with it. If the police would have took my phone, they would have had records of me with $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 cash, taking pictures, just fun, making little rap videos with my friend. Last night I saw him. He comes down, by my room, knocks on my door. He has the box with him, but I'm not thinking nothing of the box. He's just having a conversation with me. He's telling me like he usually tells me. Him and my mom are having their arguments and things like that. He was always the one to come and try to reassure me that he would come back, that they'll get back together. And I think he said something crazy like I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna buy the house next door. I'm gonna move in right next to y'all, because like they had just finally split up officially, and then it's just before he left, I just didn't understand what he meant by these words, but he looked me in my face and he was like, Snoop, you the man in the house now.
I will, Linda Bass. I will. I'm gonna go back and edit it out.
And you could take those words how you want to take them, but I took them how I took them. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing. When they came to my mom 4 to 5 years ago, I decided to step it up I had to. I had no choice. You know, I felt like she was all I had to have.
Well, Ms. Wright, I have been a little leave, giving you a little leeway here and staying well past the 4 minutes. We do have a schedule we have to keep on. So, would you like to call your next person up?
So I'm gonna skip over because the next person is like her best friend. Let's see.
Miss Wittenberg is gonna come to speak for a moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Let's see.
Inmate. Address the Tennessee Board of Parole. And if you would just state your name.
So this is Lorenzo's family.
May take up to 4 or 5 minutes.
I think it's still morning. I don't want to watch it. Too full.
Yes, sir. It's just a little after 10.
But I want to tell you about a story of 2 families.
Oh, sir, we need to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Lorenzo Cersei Jr. Deborah Marion is my niece. The young man and woman that was there, they're also my niece and nephew. But as I said, I want to tell you a story about 2 families torn apart by vicious, malicious acts. The death of my nephew.
Right.
That has torn families apart. I have
Hey,
seen
Sabrina.
my niece agonize for over 10 years about the death of her son. She would never let her son die. On his birthday, in the middle of Memphis, Tennessee, right at the FedEx Forum, she had a rally every year so no one would forget that Lorenzo Wright was killed. I think today, in listening to everything that has been said, now the kids, I know the kids are sincere in what they say, but I also believe that even they think their mother did something wrong.
Hey, Trenda.
And there's no doubt about the record. Yes, she did something
Thank
wrong.
you.
I personally don't think she served enough time for her act. I was a United States Marine for a little over 24 and a half years. I went to Vietnam. I've seen death. You're very welcome. I've seen death, malicious death, violent death. But the act that took my nephew out of this world was unbelievable. That was just total evil.
It definitely was.
There's no way to describe it other than evil. And if you, the parole board, let her out now, no way. She has not had enough time to sit down, contemplate, and realize what she did. She's smart. She's smart. There's not a doubt about that. Because where she is right now, she's smart. That's it for me.
Thank you, sir. Okay, who else would like to speak?
This is his mother.
I am Deborah Marion, and I'm Lorenzo's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
After this murder, what was really bad was my grandkids. They didn't know what to do. They went from a daddy missing to a daddy found dead. So they were like, not knowing what to do. And then we lead up to facts. They heard the facts about their mother, Lou, and their daddy. They heard the facts about their mother going to Georgia to make sure he got killed. And that's what was really crazy, that the facts that actually came out, about them sitting around the dining room table planning the murder. What part of that don't they understand? And my grandkids suffer. They haven't had any counseling. They just act like they can just keep going on. They need counseling. Their mother killed their father. Can't nobody explain that to them? They need counseling. And I hope they one day get some, because all of them need some form of counseling, because that's devastating. My mother killed my daddy, so I don't have a mother or a daddy. That ain't good. And I think she need to stay there for her term. I'm doing life, so she need to do just 30. I don't want to do but 30. That's it. And she can
Mama
go home.
say, Mama
Do the
say,
appeals.
I'm doing life.
You hear how they talk? She
She
has
just
even
got to do
manipulated
30.
them to the core. Because a lot of stuff that was told to me, it just got twisted up today. And I can like
Yeah.
something you can look and tell what you can look at the newspaper and find. You can look at the newspaper and find they said that the guy
Make sure that
lost
he
it.
was
Not
yep,
Lorenzo,
was on the line.
he lost it. Look at the commercial appeal. That's easy said than done. You can just open up paper. See, the kids still kind of messed up because they haven't got a realm of what's really, really going on. Because I know they love their mother and they want her to come home just because she's their mother.
Yeah.
But if she was the neighbor next door that planned to kill their dad, it wouldn't have went like this.
Yeah.
No, and that's why I think she need to do 30. She don't need to do with 30. You can let her come home in 30. I just need for her to do what she did.
Yep.
And pay for it. You know, that's why society is so messed up now. You can cop a plea and run through the prison and come on home. No, not today. Not in 2022. We need to do something about it. We need to make a change. Because they plead, that's not even good plea. I'm a plea that I say I'm sorry. I don't even say I'm sorry. I just say I sit in my dining room and plan this murder, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
Yes, that's his
but it's a
mother.
plea for me. What is
That's
that?
Lorenzo's mother.
That's not good. You know, you get less time just because you say yes, I did it. That's not real.
Ginger,
We
see,
need
I
to
agree
ask
with
people to
his
serve
mom
time so
too.
everybody around can pay attention. That's why somebody's dying every day in Memphis, Tennessee. Just caught on the news. Because they're not getting no time. They running through the system. Please, I'm guilty. This. Now send me to prison for a little minute.
Right.
No, that don't work. She needs to
Right.
do time. I'm doing life without my child. So I want her to feel
Oh, I
like
feel chills.
left
That
out,
hit
lost and
different.
left out.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Who else would like to speak?
Yes, sir. I'm Sergeant Tony Parks with the Memphis Police Department. I was one of the lead investigators on this case. Throughout this investigation, I learned how deceitful and misleading and manipulative that Sherra could be.
Sir, first of all,
This is
you
one
are
of the
not
detectives.
a member of the victim's family.
No.
She never liked her.
Okay, so you are
Mama,
you're
yeah.
a law enforcement official.
I don't know, Mama. I know that's right, Royalty Queen.
Okay, all right. So I'm just
And
it's
I'm gonna
something
let him.
a little bit different
I'm gonna
right here.
get out of it again.
Law enforcement, our rules allow law enforcement, sentencing judge, and district attorney to speak. I just want to make sure there's no other family members. Okay, all right. All right, if there's no other family
One
members.
more,
with
it's that
said,
auntie that was
now
sitting
we're going to hear
behind
from
her.
law
She want to
enforcement.
speak too.
And if you would just.
Yeah, I remember
Yes, sir.
seeing this hearing on a documentary about him. Yes.
Person who would like to speak here.
Oh, in that.
Now, see, I can't really play that because it's a documentary somebody
Okay.
made. This
Yes.
right here is more
Then we will get that opposition.
so really.
Hello, my name is
But I'm gonna
Debbie
edit it
Baffert.
out.
I am Lorenzo's
Right.
aunt.
Had that
Yes, ma'am.
to
Welcome.
write a book about it.
I haven't
Yes,
been
Ginger
to
T, she
any
wrote
of
the
the
book.
trials before. 'Cause
The
I
book
can't
was
visit.
Mr.
Now,
Tell Me
everybody read attention. I'm
Anything.
gonna need something.
She
I'm
broke
I might cry
everything
about this
down.
because I've been crying for 10 years.
Oh, this that auntie I was telling y'all about.
My nephew would still be here if they hadn't facilitated him being dead. So I'm done with that part. This is my part about this. My nephew would still be here.
Hey,
His kids
Sherry.
would still have their mom if this didn't go down like this. I don't think she served enough time because she didn't think about this. She didn't think about her kids when she did it. They didn't think about this when it all went down. They didn't think about anything but the money when it all went down because that's all they got out of it was $1 million. So to me, the time has not been served because my nephew would never be back. These kids would never have their father, ever. They're going to get their mother back one day, but they will never have their father. I would never have my nephew. And a lot of the stuff they said that I heard today is so untrue because I saw my nephew every other day. I live right around the corner from my nephew. And his townhouse, the entrance is on the front.
Yes, it is.
When you drive up. So there is an entrance and there is a window. So all that was a lie. The drugs, I don't know where it came from. I see my nephew every other day, if not every day. He called me every day. I was the last person probably in my family to talk to him from Atlanta. I was the one to call his mom and said, go look for your son, because something is wrong. I don't think it's time served. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
ma'am.
waiting to say that.
Okay. So we have heard from three family members. And now,
Yeah,
I believe it's law
Sheriff
enforcement
Sullivan and
that we're
Samantha
going to hear
Laws
from.
are weak as water. Yeah, it ain't
Right
just
now.
them. It ain't
Yes,
just
sir.
them.
If
It's
you
a
would like,
lot.
if you would just state your name,
Yeah, I got you.
and
Well, it's a lot.
rank and who you're with, and
Right.
then give us a little background about why you're here, and then say what you'd like to say, sir.
All right, thanks. I'm Sergeant Tony Parsons with the Miss Police Department, What Days Gang Unit. The reason I'm here on behalf of Miss Marion, called her Miss D, she asked me to come speak on behalf of the investigation of the case. Throughout this investigation, it was learned, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, Sherra could be very deceiving and manipulative. The way she sells and presents everything is what she's doing now. Throughout this investigation, all the facts and details she had today, why were these facts presented when we was trying to question her back then?
Right.
Okay.
Nothing about
With that being
drugs,
said,
nothing like that was
I don't
presented back
understand
then.
how all the details, all the books, the stories, the concern about her well-being now. There was no reports filed back then. There was nothing done back then to help to prevent this point from even happening.
Right.
If all that was done back then we would have been fine and moved on. But now this is going on to make it seem like she's ready to get back to society. No, she's not ready to get back to society. For a mother to sit back and plot and plan to kill the father of their children, 6 children, not going to never see their father again, that is very, very manipulative. That is very deceitful to do that. And then, as you asked her earlier, and she is bad. She said, directly but indirectly. Maybe the back then that you're not ready to get back to society because you still at the time your mental capacity was not ready. You're not mental capacity not ready now because you're still trying to, as I say, sell us beachfront property in Alaska. It's not right. Something's not right about that. If the evidence was, if she presented some of this back then, we'd investigate and went from there to see. But it wasn't the drug aspect. When she first asked, she didn't know anything, didn't hear anything. The brutal way that he was left out there, and to know if he was anybody in this room, you do anything for your children, and to know that you're going to take your child's father away from your children in the future, there's something wrong with you. So with that being said, I don't care how many classes you take, how many times you try to take classes,
I agree.
you 4 or 5 years is not going to get you decided because now you're confined.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to come up with something to get out. But when you was out after he had murdered, you don't want to buy a house. You moved to California. You don't party when the money ran out. Now
I agree, Royalty Queen.
So you wasn't that thoughtful about the kids then when you was out before you got caught. But now when you're caught and you incarcerated, now all of a sudden you have to go to all these classes, trying to do all this to make yourself better and go all these schools. I just
ain't try to do that when you was out in society. Why you trying to do it now?
I just think
agree.
that even the next pro hearing is, it should bypass them and go to another one because 4 to 5
The
years.
detective say the next hearing they need to bypass that one and go to another
Got a
one.
2018, which is rest after our son's basketball game that night. After the game, we had a stop in traffic stop then, trying to add that time onto it. It didn't start then. It starts now. Then 10 to 50, 20 years from now, like Ms. D said, 30 years from now, then that's when I think that you should be able to know that, hey, look, I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to say.
And I agree. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to the end. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what the judge say.
I need somebody to step in and talk to him, but everybody wanted to pretend like it wasn't happening because I was the
We're back on the rampage of crime.
And I don't fault Lorenzen for it because I love him and because I understood that he had to make up the difference. But when he quit playing for the Grizzlies, I mean, we lost $4.5 million worth of income. And if he had lived, sir, he would have been playing for the Houston Rockets
under any kind of role until 2025. So I see I'll see any kind of reason that early release would be justified in any matter. There is a retributive justice aspect to crimes, and you did plead guilty to facilitation, which is a lesser offense than should all the facts be put together for first-degree murder, which could be a life sentence. You were given a pretty good plea agreement, looks like.
Right.
Therefore, my vote today is to deny your parole due to the seriousness of the offense, because I believe release from custody this time would appreciate the seriousness of the crime. And here
Hi, Leo, Grandma.
again,
How you doing?
on in May of 2027, which would be
Thank you.
the 30% mark of the original plea agreement. That is my vote and my vote only. The other board members will review your case, and they will each vote administratively if the required number of votes are reached. Once those required number of votes are reached, you'll be notified if you've been granted or denied parole. Thank you all today. This hearing is complete.
Thank you.
Okay. So I feel like she shouldn't be paroled. That's just my opinion of that. I just feel like she shouldn't be paroled. What did I miss? Let me see. Yeah, I just feel like she shouldn't be paroled. That's just my opinion. Leave her right where she at. I mean, she learned she need to sit there, like the officer said. The detective say, let another parole come around, miss that one, go on to another one. I feel like the judge say, you could have got life. You dodged a bullet, basically. You took a man, your ex-husband, your children's father. You took him, you gunned him down. Didn't even he moved to a whole nother state. You were standing in a whole nother state. So in my opinion, I feel like they did best this time. I don't know about the next parole, but we'll see. So that was basically what this little case was about. I wanted to bring it, to my little platform and talk about it. She also had a book. She had a book called Mr. Tell Me Anything. They said in that book, and she admitted it, that she talked about how she basically did it, and how he was messing around. She caught him cheating and this and that. Okay, but that don't mean you take somebody's life. You divorce, you move on. That way he can see his kids. You can still see your kids. Life would have been probably different, great, but whatever. But everybody would have been alive. You would have been out of prison. Because she looked, I'm not even going to lie, the pictures that they have, she looked bad. She looked rough. So prison doing her bad, honey. That ain't even no justice of how she look now. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's sad. It really is. It's sad. From how she started from 2010 to now. It's just awful. It really is. And then, Billy, old Billy got life. But she took a plea deal and she got 30. Now, do that make sense? This was the guy they say she married. I don't know if she married him in prison or whatever, but it's awful. It really is. And this was his mother, the one who spoke. So, yes, ma'am. If you sentenced to 30 years, serve 30, in my opinion. And I agree. So And she was a pretty woman, T-Hall. She was very pretty. They say when I seen a couple of documentaries about this case, they say she was just so uppity. Like she was basically always wanted to be flashy, money. It was everything about her, money. Like the documentaries that I seen of her, I was like, oh my God, this was nothing. Y'all have to go see some of the documentaries they got of her. You know, did she have a stroke? It looked like it, T-Hall. I want to say, I really don't know, but just looking like, looked like she looked like somebody else. But we ain't gonna talk about it. But yeah, she looked like she had a stroke, like some health issues going on in prison. You know, she was in a wheelchair. I mean, them people don't care. They feel like they put on, they feel like the judge them look at it like, okay, you still going to prison. We health issues. We got nurses and doctors. We gonna take care of you, but you're going to prison. They don't care nothing about that. So I just feel like you do your time. You did the crime, do the time. That's how I feel. So anything else you guys want to talk about? If not, I'm gonna get on out of somebody else's way. I got so much that lined up. It's just I'm trying to find the time, but I know I got to go back and edit some of this video so I don't have a copyright strike. But thank y'all. Please hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hey Don Hood, you have to catch the replay. I'm about to get up out of here. I'm probably taking up a little time anyways, But thank y'all and happy holidays. I hope y'all, eat good, drink good, laugh, enjoy your family. Enjoy your family. I was gonna go out of town, but I'm deciding to stay with home. Me and my daughter, we gonna go over with my sister and my niece and nephews, and we're gonna go get my mom. So I'm looking forward to that. And tomorrow I'm gonna go because my sister, she works till tomorrow. So hopefully the courthouse will let her out, to be able to, cook and stuff. But I'm gonna go over and help her cut up stuff and, bring it in with some family. I'm excited. It's really it's painful because I wish my stepdad was here. I wish my real dad was here, but I'm gonna make the best out of it because at the end of the day, and I really don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but I am gonna be with family. So I want to finish cutting up my veggies for my dressing. Catch y'all on the next live. I know that's right, T-How. Thank you for joining me, babe. Thank you for bringing diversity. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, saying to you, boo. Maybe that's how she got an early parole date. Maybe Sting, but it ain't work. It ain't work. It's like, nope, going back. I mean, I've seen people who needed to be out, who did so much time, and the parole office just kept denying them. These people done did overtime. Like 4 years ain't nothing. You plotted, planned, you went to Atlanta to do this. You put yourself in this situation. At some point, people got to take, you just going to have to take fault in the wrong that you do or did. And you know what? That's life, baby. Happy Thanksgiving. Everyone, same to you, boo. All right, I'm about to get out of here and let somebody else come up. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I have badges available. If you guys want to purchase, you don't have to. I just enjoy you guys rocking with me, chilling with me, and also listening to my lives or recordings, because I'm gonna do mostly recordings anyways. This was a long live. So thank you. Happy holidays. Somebody else said something. Happy Turkey Day, everyone. Thanks, Sting. All right, we out of here.